We have chosen the extract from the film Do the Right Thing, a film from 1989 which was deemed culturally and historically significant. The film was written and directed by the acclaimed director Spike Lee. The film was a big commercial success and received several nominations, including 2 Academy Awards. Beside it becoming a success, it provoked an intense debate among the mainstream popular reviewers. Although the film was released in 1989, it still to this day have a huge impact on the discussion about race and the police brutality in the US. Do the Right Thing presents the linear narrative in a day in the life of a neighborhood in Brooklyn in 1989. It showcases one of the hottest days of the year and follows the main character Mookie. Mookie is a young guy living at his sister's place and working at Saul's Pizzeria down the street. It's a film about racial tension between the different cultures living in the area. Something which is evident from the first shot of the film, where we see the tension increasing between the people. Over the course of the day, we follow the racial groups of the Afro-American, white, Asian, and Hispanic individuals in the town and how they carry out their daily lives while harboring resentments for the other races they live among. The racial tension all culminates in the ending of the film, where the pizza place is burning down and a man is killed. The director Spike Lee is very famous for making controversial film about race and mostly about the African American culture. Do the Right Thing is actually his first film where white people appears. He didn't make the film for all the races to be united, but to show how the African Americans are pushed to the limit, with the outcome still to be written. Do the Right Thing is also a great example for the fact that Spike Lee often casts himself in his films, most as an oblivion character, as he plays the main character. Another element which also happens often in his films are the characters talking directly to the camera, a way of making a non-filter way to make a statement in the film. The main focus in the extract starts with the scene called Fuck Frank Sinatra. It shows a shot of Mookie hanging up the phone at Saul's Famous, where he and Pino is having a discussion about the wall dedication of Italian-American celebrities and sport figures. Here Mookie questions Pino about his favorite athlete, actor and rock star, where his answer is all the people of color. The talk is about artists like Prince, Magic and Eddie Murphy not being niggers. The discussion ends by Mookie and Pino exchanges of "fuck you." Suddenly we cut to what the director Spike Lee has called racial slur montage. Here Mookie is attacking the Italians, Pino is attacking blacks, Latino Stevie is slandering about the Koreans, and the police officer is insulting the Latinos, and the Korean grocery owner is slurring Jews. The sequence is interrupted by a timeout by Mr. Senor Love Daddy. Afterwards, we follow Mookie in a meeting with Radio Raheem. Here they discuss his new rings and the story about right and left hand, and the story of his life itself between love and hate. Hereafter we follow Radio Raheem going into Saul's Pizzeria, playing his music loud and having Saul yelling at him. The scene then cuts to Mookie delivering pizza and walking down the street, while saying hi to everybody in the community, and then the extract ends with a shot of Mookie going into the house to take a shower. Moving on, we would like to do an analysis of the extract. We're starting with the mise en scène, which includes staging, costume and makeup, setting and light. When looking at the staging in Do the Right Thing, it's a lot about the use of props. The props used in the extract are used to represent the heart of the film's social, cultural, and political meanings. One of the key props is the Jackie Robinson baseball shirt that Mookie wears. This refers to the fact that Robinson broke the color barrier in 1947, becoming the first black player in the major leagues. Another big part of the staging are the constant showing of pictures of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, which add to the discussion about race throughout the film. Moving on to the setting, it is clear that the entire film takes action over the course of 24 hours. It all takes place in one street in a lower-class neighborhood in Brooklyn. A street that actually wasn't closed off for the production, and therefore normal people walk down the street during the production. The settings are made out to understate the argument of the film. The setting in the film also indicates some symbols. It is made out to be one of the hottest days of the year. The heat is testing everybody's patience, and as the day heats more and more up, so does everyone's tempers. When looking at the lighting in the extract, it is very natural. Only daylight occurs where bright colors are in focus. The hot sun is a big factor, and the lighting shows very clear that everyone is sweating. The use of lighting and color also sets the mood. If you look at the costume, the style of the film is highlighting the heat with very minimal clothes and bright colors. We see a stereotyping styling between the different races in the movie. In contrast to the Italians wearing basic clothes as a work uniform, Mookie is wearing a baseball jersey, which gives a certain independence in the character and connects Mookie to the African American community, even though he works for the Italians. The rest of the cast is supported by their costume. The most colorful character in the community is DJ Senior Love Daddy. He wears a colorful Hawaiian t-shirt and leopard printed sunglasses. He's changing his hats during the movie to complement on his role in the scene. In our extract, his function is to snap back to reality or being a peacemaker. Another way to argue the characters being stereotyping are their names. All the Italian names are classic short names: Saul, Vito, and Pino, and all the African American names are nicknames like Slick Dick Willie, Mookie, Buggin' Out, and more. If we look at the sound in the movie, we will hear some different types of sounds on work. Most of the sound elements in the extract are diegetic. In the extract, we will see 3 basic categories of sound: dialogue, sound effects, and music. The sound effects in the extract is essential to understand the mood in every shot. The loud sound makes us notice specific things and our eyes drawn to that. When Pino hangs up the phone with a high smash, you know that he have some issues with Mookie. The sound effects is perfectly placed into the scene with music, which is a mixture of jazz and hip-hop. The music is perfectly matching the feelings with what is actually happening. In the Fight the Power scene, Radio Raheem is playing the song on an extremely high level when he enters the pizza place. Fight the Power is playing throughout the scene as a protest until Saul makes him turn it down by threats. The music also shows that there is a lot going on at the same place at the same time, like everything is happening in a rhythm. The rest of the non-diegetic sound are the quiet jazz and the realistic sounds. The jazz is a background sound that is smooth and calm, which fits to the hot day in Brooklyn. Montage is often used to describe the setting and the mood in the scene. Spike Lee also used montage to try and cool off. This is both to cool down the heat but also the atmosphere between the people. The montage also helps us to understand that the heat is depressing and how people are having a hard time going through their daily routines. Another montage is the racial slurs. This specific montage is essential to understand the racial tension that's already illustrated in the film. Having Mookie start with the racial slurs without the montage would do the scene and the plot of the film no justice. The use of ethnic slurs catch the audience off guard and help them to understand the extent of racism going both ways between the African Americans and the Italian. The general use of montage served Spike Lee's eye for better detail and portrayed the dilemma in the extract. In addition to montage, the editing and the camera angles in Do the Right Thing includes a match uncut. We see this when the camera moves in one way that imitates the move just before it. In the racial slur scene, we see how Lee zooms away from one character and then zoom in on another. Lee stated that the camera acts as a mirror, helping the audience to recognize their own grudge or opinions that they may consciously or unconsciously hold. The characters, he continued, stand still like the audience because they are unwilling to change their views and racist sentiments that they are so comfortable to keep inside.
Spike Lee played a lot with the framing in this movie. He uses different angles to support his character's intention. He uses a tilted camera angle on the characters to make them look big and threatening or small and weak, like when Radio Raheem and Sal has an argument in the pizzeria. His way of filming Radio Raheem is a tilted angle and close-up where you can see him sweating, gives the audience a feeling of the tension going on. Lee does the same thing in Radio Raheem tells a story of love and hate, where the medium shot and up angle makes him look intimidating for Mookie and the audience. When he's done telling his story, the camera now shifts, framing him looking down at Mookie in the medium shot from the side, where they're facing each other. During filming, Spike Lee told his cinematographer, "I want you to really think about how you can give the feeling of the hottest day of the summer. What can you do to visually to make the audience sweat?" Through his use of different camera techniques, such as the low angle shot, dot shot, and breaking the fourth wall, Lee undoubtedly made the audience connect with the film on a level that few films are able to achieve.
The main message about this film and the extract is race conflict, the gap between white and black, Latino and Asian. It shows the diversity of America and also all the struggle they have gone through and still are. It showcases that no one is immune from the manifestation of racism, no matter what color you have or where you come from. People do what they want instead of doing the right thing. So, to conclude, the film and the extract shows the main message, race conflict. Do the Right Thing is a film which showcases the racial situation and police brutality in America, which to this day still is current. Through the cinematography and the script, it becomes clear that Spike Lee wanted to create a film which discussed the theme, but he did it in a way which, instead of building action and suspense, offers vignette. It shows a series of mostly verbal confrontations of seemingly equal weight, always unresolved, trailing off as the characters wander away, apparently losing interest or becoming distracted. There is only one way to do the wrong thing about do the right thing, and that is to ignore it.